Dos Amours. Welcome back to Fog Entertainment. We are setting our eyes on the end of this season one because we are almost there. It is the penultimate episode of the Daryl Dixon show. Episode 5 is season 1. We get flashback heavy here, and it's with Daryl. And you know what? I think Daryl this episode actually showed a bit of personality, a bit of fire in his belly. A wee bit.
Flashback must have brought back some of his potential in
the
earlier seasons. Can we no flashback 15 years when big Daryl Dixon was still alive? Come on! Waiting for this. We got a Negan flashback and we've seen Simon alive. Why can't we see it? One scene, come on!
Michael Rooker says he's done. That's probably why. He's done with this shit.
I know, but, well, it is shit. I don't blame him for that, but for the sake of the Dixon brothers...
I tell you what, if they whipped out a 60-minute episode and half of it was a flashback with Merle, I think it would be pretty good. That's all I'm saying.
It's a shame that The Walking Dead didn't want to commit to spin-offs earlier.
When it had the ability to do it.
When the show... I just think of spin-offs that could have happened. Like, if they didn't want to kill off Shane and they felt like it would have been a good idea to keep him alive, Andrea wanted to leave the group, I mean, they could have had a spin-off with those two. Or when Rick was against letting Meryl join the group in season 3 and Daryl went off with Meryl, I mean, they could have had a spin-off with those two, and I just think they would have been two interesting spin-offs while we're still in a relatively early stage of the apocalyptic world, but we're getting these spin-offs now, it's like 15, 20 years later, and it's nobody cares, let's be honest. We're beating a dead horse here. That's exactly what The Walking Dead is. Everything is stale, everything's been dragged out. It's just boring. It is boring. 20 years into the zombie apocalypse, nothing is new. Give us new shit. I think we'd rather see a fresh show with the original outbreak starting again than see something that's like 15, 20 years in the future.
We would. And Aslan, this new character, has got the boat. I know you don't care for this guy, but guess what? You won't have time to care for him because he dies pretty soon. But before he dies, he talks to Daryl about all this shit. This is my boat, and I used to catch, you try to catch flies with your bare hands, Laurent. Yeah. See, I don't know, the French is just growing very old on me, I'm sorry. Aslan then asked Daryl if he's a Christian, and Daryl says, nope, I was kicked out of Sunday school. I mean, I will say this, I don't rate the Daryl Dixon character, but I think he comes out with the odd, like, one-liner that sounds alright with his dryness. I think so. Even though he's still pretty poor, in my opinion, I think he has the ability to get a cheap pop out of me, even though he sucks.
I'd agree with that.
He did it a few times this episode, but for the most part, like, it's... He says it and it's not even like an attempt to be funny. I could actually buy that Daryl was actually kicked out of fucking Sunday school. I could definitely, but then he compares Daryl to, in the Bible, Abraham became a pilgrim, and Daryl's like, I'm going to assume that Abraham did not in France, and then Aslan's like, oui, Daryl, you're so right, amigo. Daryl then watches Laurent, and this is how we see Daryl ending up in France.
And yeah, that's
what he shot the crossbow very well, and yeah, let's go.
Right, you know what? I really can't be bored jumping in and out of flashbacks.
Right, let's wrap up the flashbacks.
Right, so Daryl is in America. I'm not quite sure which part, but
I'm going to assume it is.
I think he's far away from his base.
It's East Coast, because if he ends up in a boat going to France, it has to be East Coast.
He's trying to get fuel.
Yep, he's going to get fuel. He's got a bike.
He bumps into this like. I don't know, not a I don't think there's like a refugee centre, but this like big campsite, and basically if you bring them walkers, they will give you fuel. I'm not sure how it works. The more walkers you bring, the more fuel or bigger the fuel tank they give you. So Daryl goes out. There's a bunch of other guys there, some old white guys there, so...
These bastards.
Of course, they must be bad people.
You're not allowed to fight, you're not allowed to steal, you're not allowed any sexual deviance.
Yeah, so we're not allowed any of that
children
shit.
Either. Or elderly.
The old white guys...
Or anyone shorter than 5'4", which I thought was quite funny.
I just didn't get that. So, I'll tell you what, though, the white guys look pretty old. I wonder where they draw the line. No old people.
What if you're 5'5", though, and... You get older and you lose an inch.
You're out of here.
You're fuck out of here, buddy.
Anyway, wait, would that not rule out most of the fucking women for joining?
I didn't actually notice any women, to be honest.
Anyway, so they go out and they're bringing back walkers. The old white guys who are old but not old enough to be kicked out the camp. They bring it back like 4 or 5 walkers, but Daryl Dixon outdoes them. He brings her back about 10. He gets more fuel. And I think they can just keep going. So they go through the next days. They're trying to get more fuel. Daryl Dixon's trying to outdo these guys. There's a kid here who's not very good at doing anything. He's asking for help. He wants to join up with Daryl Dixon. Daryl says no. He then wants to join up with the old guys. They say, not really, but here, go and cut some wood for us. If you stock us up with some firewood, then maybe we will let you join tomorrow. And it turns out this guy wants to get fuel because he wants to take his girlfriend and rescue her. Basically, her dad's got her locked up or some shit like this, and he wants to
get to California.
He wants to get to California with her. So he's chopping up the firewood. He's not doing a good job of it. Daryl Dixon comes over, being the nice guy that he is, tries to help him. You gotta follow through. Chop that wood, baby. So he does that, and then the kid begins to do a good job of it, and looks like this kid's chopping wood. He knows how to do it now, and Daryl Dixon says, you know, if I was you, I'd go home to your girl. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Also, the old guys took the guy's photo and looked at it, and basically says that they would like to have their way with this guy's girl, which is a bit weird because, I mean, this guy looked like he could have been... it could have been a minor himself, like, even though it did say no children, this guy looked like he could have been a minor.
Yeah, but I guess he's over 5'4".
Yeah,
there's no birth certificate.
Well, my point was more, normally the girl's younger than the boy, and this guy looked pretty young. And
17, 16, that sort of region.
These old guys are saying, yeah. So, but whatever. They then go out the next day. Daryl Dixon brings home loads of walkers. So do the old guys, but they've got a +1. And it's the young kid. The young kid is at the end of the line. He's turned. Daryl Dixon's like, how the fuck did this happen? And he went, oh, just unfortunate. Just happened. And they says, put it down to bad luck. Although good luck for them, technically, because it helped them get more walkers. Daryl Dixon accuses them of murder. He says, look, there's rope burns around his neck, so they think they've choked this kid out, they've killed this kid and used him as bait, perhaps, to get walkers.
There's no, I mean, I say there's no proof. I guess it's pretty obvious, but no actual 100% proof here that they actually have killed him, but maybe he hung himself, we don't know.
So Daryl Dixon throws a punch, and that's pretty much it. That's them getting kicked out the group.
There was a scene as well where he did contact Carol, right? Pretty big point to miss. And then she mentions at the end that someone came home. Obviously, this is Rick, but yeah, it doesn't mention it's Rick before it gets cut off. So it's cut off. Daryl says, I'll be home with the fuel and fish, buddy. So yeah, do you know how she should have mentioned Rick was home before this?
That's a pretty big thing, isn't it? Rick's been gone, at least 9 years?
Yeah, we're not talking
probably should have mentioned that.
We're not talking
then God knows how long this Daryl Dixon skip is as well. So we're probably talking Rick's been gone for about 13, 14 years here.
Well, no, because Daryl Dixon show is only 13 years since the start of the apocalypse, so...
But the timeline's fucked.
Timeline is... Maybe they invented time travel, and I don't know, but... Again, remember this show was supposed to be Daryl and Carol? I'm actually glad it's only Daryl. Imagine if this was Carol as well.
Well, Carol's got a thing for kids, so she'd have probably been... But then again, I think if Carol was in it, they probably wouldn't have had that Isabella, would they? Probably a substitute for her.
I probably prefer Isabelle than Carol.
Either way, they get thrown out, and then I'm not quite sure what happens, but they end up on a boat.
Yeah.
Now, was it the people in charge of this, that group? Were collecting walkers? So did they just add Daryl and this old guy to the mix? What are they sending walkers over to France for? Are they getting paid? Are France experimenting on the walkers? Do they get paid? I'm going
to assume so. We do see on the boat there's a few walkers that get experimented. I'm going to assume they're going to use these guys as food for the walkers.
No, I'm assuming that as well, but it's like, are we really at that stage where France need walkers imported from fucking America? And
how where do they, let's be real, Daryl can't even communicate from France over to America, so how the fuck are they even here, I need this order? Would someone have to come over with an order?
Yeah, I'm a bit confused as to why they're going to France. Now, the old guy did say this one's fresh. Do you get more money for fresh walkers?
I'm going to assume fresh ones are better than 10-year-olds.
If that's so, is that why they killed the kid? I don't know. There's something crazy going on here. I think the walkers are being sent to France to be tested on, but it just seems a bit far-fetched that they're sending walkers to France.
Yeah.
On a fucking boat.
And I think this guy, the bad guy's name is what, TJ, is it? I think his name is TJ. I mean, there's the
black guy giving it the gas, or the old white guy
the old white guy who apparently killed the guy.
Yeah. Anyway, so they all get locked up. They're on a boat, and they take one of them out of the cage and they throw him down into a cage full of walkers. Daryl then pretends he's being sick. TJ bashes on the doors like, this guy's throwing up blood. Get him out of here quick before he turns. So they come in, they take Daryl Dixon out. They're about to toss him in. But Daryl Dixon then breaks out and he fights back. And 3-on-1, he takes care of it.
Despite the fact the guy's got a gun.
Throws one guy into the pit of zombies. Shoots the other guy in the head and then chokes the other dude out and snaps his neck. He then releases all the other walkers when he sees the group coming after him. He lets TJ out even though TJ killed that kid.
Yeah, like there was no conversation where they like got over it.
I just don't understand this. I mean,
escape.
Yeah, 1 minute you've got Daryl Dixon accusing this guy of murder and wanting to punch him and probably wanting to kill him. Then in the very next scene they're working together to try and escape. I don't know. It didn't work for me.
Like, yeah, because like this guy, if he would kill that kid and you know about it and you've got him in this mess with you, I mean, he could have just dropped Daryl here, did something.
Yeah,
there's a risk releasing him.
Yeah, so if this guy's willing to kill a kid in order to get fuel,
what's he going to do?
What's he willing to do
to done that to him?
What's he willing to do to survive?
Exactly.
So I don't know why Daryl Dixon rescued this guy. They're trying to escape. There's chaos on the boat, and then a super zombie. I don't know if this zombie's been experimented on, but it just kind of climbed up the stairs, and I mean, it ripped open TJ, sliced him and diced him. Daryl hit it with a fire extinguisher, and then Daryl jumped off the boat, and that was it. The boat exploded, and I guess Daryl got on a little raft, and that's how he made it to France.
Yeah.
Now let's cover France. What thoughts on the flashbacks? I like how they attempted to show us how Daryl made it to France, and I thought the flashbacks started off pretty good, but from the boat, it just didn't make any sense. I liked the whole, we're trying to get fuel. That showed you that Daryl, he was getting fuel to try and get back to Carol, and I liked the whole dynamic when they killed that kid. I thought something was going to happen for that, but
at least there's parallels with that kid and Laurent. You can see why he's looking out for him.
But I think from that moment, from when Daryl punched that guy and they both got kicked out, I don't know what happened. How did they get kicked out and then end up in a boat?
Yeah, and then why are they best buds? Help each other escape.
So they didn't get kicked out, they were abducted or they were taken hostage?
Something like that. And the super walker, what about that? I mean, is that just left for debate for us to think about, the experiments work? Why would they be creating a super walker? You think they would want antidotes and shit like that? Not to create walkers. I mean, say this sort of, this breed of walker, so to speak, became the norm. How quickly would they start dying? I mean, this thing was running and ripping, like, fucking this guy to limbs, man. Single-handedly.
Anyway, we're back in the present time. Quinn is, I guess, trying to get back with Isabelle. He's wondering how long it's going to take Isabelle to see him differently and want him again. Isabelle later, I guess, tries to seduce him. She takes him to the bed. She's got a knife. Quinn's saying he thinks everyone can be forgiven and he believes in second chances and all this stuff. And then I guess Isabella decides against stabbing him. She'd like this sharp object. And
it's like,
I'm a little bit confused as to what exactly has Quinn done here that would justify killing him. I'm a bit confused.
It was like Andrea Governor, wasn't it?
I just don't know. I just don't really get what Quinn's... I'm not saying he's a great guy. I don't think he is. But let's be honest, at the start of the outbreak, Isabella's the one that left him behind. She abandoned him.
Yeah, she's blaming him, though, for her sister dying. You got her pregnant, Quinn.
So he deserves to die for that?
That's what she thinks. That's the only reason I can think of.
Since they've met up, he seems to want to rekindle what they had. She's not really into... But I don't... What's he really done that is like, you're a bastard, Quinn, you deserve to die? I'm just not really seeing it. I don't think he's that likeable, but I just don't know why she was going to... Is she being held hostage? I know she's there to try and give Laurent safe passage through France, but I never really got the idea that she's been held prisoner.
No. It's a bit... I mean, the lines are blurred here. And she's a nun now, so how's this relationship going to go fucking anywhere?
Like maybe if she tried to escape or something and he's like, no, you're not going anywhere, and shackled her up.
It just didn't really do anything for me, this part of the episode.
I just don't really get the relationship here. I'm just... It doesn't make any sense.
These people are hurting from the fact Daryl's actually got nothing really to do with them here. For a decent part of this episode, Daryl's away. Daryl was on his boat with Aslan. Aslan, whatever, but... They make camp for the night. Aslan explains that, this wee watch here, his pocket watch, has kept him alive all this time. Follow the water, buddy. Come on. What do you make of Aslan? We didn't even... I mean, this guy just came out of nowhere now, like, we're giving screen time.
Didn't even know he existed until this episode. Maybe he appeared at the end of the last episode. But anyway, there's a bit of commotion. A walker breaks into Daryl's tent with Laurent. Daryl kills it. He tells Laurent, stay here. I'm going to go and investigate. And what does he find? He finds Aslan stuck to a tree. And it turns out Aslan fell and he tripped and he got impaled by a telephone pole.
Yeah, I'm just...
And he says, I can't believe decades of training and I've been taken out by a telephone pole.
And he says, funny thing is, my dad used to work in the telephone company.
Daryl Dixon says, yeah, that's a tough break. I mean, that line, I thought that line was funny. Like,
it was. But again, like, how did he, like, fall on this telephone pole? Like, all the walkers are dead.
Daryl, I think, tries to help him, but Aslan says, no, don't touch me, I'm covered in their blood. Since when would that matter? So all of a sudden we're going the direction, the blood can be contagious or the blood can turn you. I mean, how many seasons did Daryl and Rick... I mean, look at... Was it season 3 when Rick just goes into the prison and just with a machete and he comes out covered in blood? How many times have we seen people just slice up walkers and get blood in their eyes, their mouth, their nose, their pores, their cuts... and nothing's happened to them.
Yeah,
Have you noticed The Walking Dead, though? It just picks and chooses when, I can't get the blood on you.
I'm willing to bet, though, even in this episode, Daryl got a bit of blood on him.
Yeah, but I just don't get it. I don't know why Aslan, it just seems like a random fucking line.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like these were the super mutants, or whatever you want to call them. He just dies, and then Daryl stabs him in the head.
I think, like, Aslan, he's speaking as if it's like season 1 or 2.
Oh, yeah,
where we don't really know about the blood. I didn't get this. Daryl goes to give him water. He's like, nah, don't waste the water on me. Just get out of here. And then Daryl digs him a grave, and that's pretty much it. That's Aslan gone.
He was happy that he was looking east for some reason. Towards the sun. That's probably why he was happy. I don't know.
Muhammad?
If I was fucking dying, I don't care if the moon was there or the sun or whatever. You're dead. Not doing much for me. So they bury him. They bury him the next morning. Some rosary beads are laid down on his grave. Daryl goes to find the boat, but guess what? It's gone. And then Daryl, showing a bit of pent up frustration here, goes fucking ballistic at Laurent.
Yeah, lays it all out. Why did you do this? You stupid kid. You're worthless. You know, he didn't strike him, but I'm sure he could have killed him if he wanted to. Basically, just he's battered him verbally, didn't he? Really.
Yeah, I mean, and he says, Daryl, I only did it. I don't want to be alone because I
don't want everybody alone. Leave me. I'll
lose you when you get to the nest.
And then Daryl, like, oh shit, kid, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry.
So that's it. They have a wee hug, and now they need to make their way without the boat. They attempt to do that. They're on the road. Daryl hears a fan coming. Daryl says to Laurent, we need to get off the road. Laurent drops some shit on the road.
Oh, I dropped my bag. Oui.
Daryl's like, no, we can't do that. Then Daryl tells Laurent to go. Laurent says, I can't go without you. Daryl says, you promised to do anything, so do it and go without me. And then Daryl Dixon attempts to sneak up on a soldier, but he gets caught before he can even lay a glove on someone. And it's like, okay, the great Daryl Dixon here, he can't even sneak up on one soldier. And then Laurent didn't go away. He was there, and he told them not to kill Daryl. So they both get abducted and taken back to Monet. And it's like,
awful plan.
Why didn't Daryl and Laurent just run while they had the chance? Why were they fucking waiting?
Yeah.
Why did Daryl come out of his cover? What was Daryl's game plan here? And let's say Laurent didn't come back. Either Daryl would have been captured or he would have been dead, and then Laurent's on his own.
He was about to get his eye cut out.
It was just it was a shite show here. Shite plan for Daryl Dixon. Especially when they dropped that stuff on the road, right? And Daryl probably knew they were going to see it and stop. Why wouldn't you just run? Get a head start on these people?
Exactly. Idiotic plan, and you know what? He almost lost an eye.
An eye for an eye.
And then we get Quinn and...
At least he didn't lose a hand like Merle.
Yeah, Quinn and Isabelle, he says, when Paris was going to shit, I decided to steal a necklace for you. I didn't think it'd be 12 years, though. He's still a wee bit bitter about that, isn't he? 12 years.
Rightfully so. Isabelle left him to die.
Maybe she... Yeah, but I mean, is it not a bit naive for him, and maybe her, I don't think her to a degree, for him to think this relationship's just going to click again after 12 years? She fucking left him. Here he is, giving her a necklace. Quinn needs to fucking sort himself out. But they're going to go de Galade. They're going to go to the headquarters, aren't they?
They are, and I don't know, it's just too much French speaking for me.
Yeah, like they arrive in like a Mercedes, and I don't know, it's just so much going on here, and who really cares? I know we're done with the flashbacks, but I thought it was actually pretty hard here to tell what was flashbacks and what wasn't. Like, you were cutting in between this and then, like, Daryl being captured. And it was like, right, where is this storyline-wise? And then you've got these two walking through the dungeons, and some guy gets beat up, and she's like, what do you call it? A bribe? Yes, he was taking a bribe.
Yep, so that happens. Quinn introduces Isabella to Genet, who explains that the man was one of her guerreros charged with securing the city. He's getting beat, some guy's getting beat to death. He lets someone escape. She says, what do you call it in English? A bribe. So, yeah, we get that. Anna is there, and it turns out that Anna has betrayed Quinn. She told Genet that they were allowing Daryl and the boy out of the city, out of France, and this obviously pisses off Genet, and she locks up Quinn, but for some reason doesn't lock up Isabella. So Quinn's locked up next to Daryl, but Isabelle is okay. Anna, who betrayed them, she walks off. I guess she's fine, and the boy who Genet apparently wanted is allowed to roam free with Isabelle, and I don't know why they're not locked up. Can someone explain this to me?
Yeah, like, what? It's just for the sake of, these two need to watch Daryl as he goes into the impact zone. He goes in.
Daryl then gets told by Quinn, you failed, by the way, Americano. You're a Ponce. He called him a Ponce. So yeah, Quinn is locked up. Daryl is... Can you see Quinn turning into a protagonist here?
Yeah, because what can he really do left as an antagonist? He's captured by the people who are the antagonists.
Do you not think they need a male protagonist, like someone who's capable of doing shit?
This is probably how he'll redeem himself.
Well, no, in The Walking Dead, he'll die. Can't have two fucking white guys. No. But yeah, so Quinn's locked up. Daryl gets taken into this, like, pit, and they're all standing around the pit. Genet gives a speech, and
it goes on and on and on. Sacre bleu, Marie Le Pen, no.
Basically how they're taking over France, and they're going to lead France into new glory, and Daryl's a traitor. He's an enemy of France, and they're going to make their enemies pay, and then they bring out this super infected, and...
it's a burner.
One of the guerrillas shoots the walker in the neck with a dart, which causes the walker to mutate, developing black eyes and the fangs of a burner. So it looks like that walker that Daryl encountered in episode 1 might have been experimented on and then was, I don't know, allowed to break free or roam free or whatnot. It was set loose. So the crowd are cheering. Isabella tells Laurent not to look. Stefan yells at Daryl and says, "Did you die today for my brother?" And it's like, mate, your brother was a fucking nobody. We don't even care. Are we supposed to give a shit?
Yeah. It's not like Merle.
No, but why the hell? His brother was on screen for like 2 seconds. I'd forgot about that guy's brother.
I actually forgot about this guy.
And like, wouldn't he want something more personal? How come this guy doesn't want to settle his beef with Daryl one-on-one?
Yeah, why doesn't he want to fight him?
No, I'll let a walker take you. I want revenge for my brother, but I don't want that kind of revenge. Then Daryl gets an axe and the guys walk off and Daryl's left one-on-one with this walker.
Oh, I wonder what will happen.
It then breaks free of the restraints. It charges at him and the episode ends and you're thinking, wow, is Daryl going to die? Who's going to escape? Who's going to live, Daryl or the walker? Well, breaking news, spoiler alert. Literally a second later, it shows you a preview for next week and and Daryl's in like 60% of it. So I think it's safe to say, unless next week's entire preview promo trailer is flashbacks, then I think it's fair to say that Daryl's still alive and he won this battle.
Yeah, to me this is just retarded why you would show a promo like this. And also, right, you try to tell me that they would...
But here's the thing, it's called The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. They fucking can't show the promo for the season finale and not include Daryl. That is the problem you've got with this fucking show. Now, see if this was The Walking Dead and Daryl was just one of, like, many characters. You could have showed the last promo for the finale without spoiling anything.
Yeah, you could, but not my problem with this is he's in this arena. He's surrounded by millions of people, right? Well, not millions, a couple of hundred people, right? His enemies. He's taking on this super walker, and then in the promo it showed you he's already escaped. He's by himself. So all the suspense is took out of the finale. It's like, how the fuck's he going to escape this place?
No, for example, let's look at The Walking Dead, right?
Yeah.
Season 2, episode 12, right? See when Shane and Rick, or see when Shane's got the gun pointed at Rick. Let's say they end at the episode there. They could have showed the promo for the finale, and maybe included like a bit from that actual scene where Shane still got the gun pointed at Rick. But then the rest of the promo could have featured the other characters. Could have had Herschel, some of them escaping the house, Daryl on his bike, the walkers closing in on the farm. They could have showed a promo without spoiling the rest of it. Without showing, there's Rick escaped. He must have killed Shane. But with this show, they literally can't. So it ends with a cliffhanger, not knowing if Daryl's going to live or not. But this show couldn't possibly do a promo for the finale without Daryl Dixon, because the whole show's based around him.
No, it could not, and it did not.
And that's the problem they've got here.
What's it? This cliffhanger's abysmal. This walker's getting his head cut off straight away.
Well, no, I don't think I'll get his head cut off straight away.
I think it will.
Well, I tell you what, it's a big build-up if Daryl just takes one swing.
Yeah, but
so they shoot the infected dart into it and it mutates just for Daryl Dixon to go.
He swung at it like he's going for its neck. You try to tell me if he connects, it's not cutting his head off.
Well, that's your opinion.
That's my opinion. This is also my opinion. 3 out of 10. Highest rating I've gave this season, so there you go.
You know what? I'll also give it a 3 out of 10.
Wee bit better. Cooperative flashbacks a wee bit better. Even though I think the jumping was a wee bit... it was a wee bit much, but they were alright.
Without the French shit, man, that long speech, that bored me.
Yeah, yes, at the end. Oh, sacre bleu. Oh.
Maybe with more flashbacks and without the Quinn and Isabelle scenes, I could have maybe gave it like a 4 or a 5, but 3 out of 10, guys. Best episode I think they've done so far.
And that sums up this show, guys. A 3 out of 10, smoking the rest. But until next time, peace.